Good day, beautiful people. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Soul, Light, and Body. Let's know where you're tuning in from. Today is such a beautiful day. Happy Monday. It's a beautiful day. And why it's a beautiful day? Because we're here again. And we are given this beautiful opportunity where we can go deeper in our lives, see the changes that we need to make, and make those changes. It is spring. It is spring for us here in the United States. We're going into spring, and I'm quite sure it's spring other parts of the world too. So, what are you doing for spring with your life? What are some of the areas that you're going to really detox in your life for spring? Because many times we have so much of clutter in ourselves and around us. We have so much of clutter. And it's time that we really start to go within our lives and start to declutter the thoughts, the false beliefs. Let's start to look at those areas in our lives and start to declutter those things within our lives. Let's look around our environment, the home that we're living in, and start to declutter. The things that we are not using, someone else could use it. We could donate it to some charity and to help someone else who could make use of that particular thing that we are not using. It could be a piece of clothing. It could be some utensil. It could be a piece of furniture. Let's start to do this decluttering. It's spring. Let's start to declutter. You declutter your relationships. You may have a relationship in your life and it's not going so well. You're questioning yourself, should I be in this relationship? Is this relationship serving me well? You start to ask all the questions. Maybe it's time to release that energy. It's all energy. And it's time for you to move forward. So you kind of like look at the relationship, identify the problems you're having within the relationship. If you could work the relationship out, you start to come up with bullet points how you could work this relationship out with an individual. Or if not, if that energy needs to go, you just allow it to go and you just bless it and allow that energy to go with no hard feelings. Because sometimes we come up to a point of time in our lives that we just need to go different course. We may come back if the divine or God or whatever you believe in wants us to come back, we may come back. But sometimes some relationship comes to an end and that's it. And we really need to respect each other as we go our separate ways. It's very important for us to really check in with ourselves, see how we are feeling. Continue to do your journaling. Continue to write 3 things down every day that you're grateful for. Because those things, those little steps are so important for our lives. It helps us to really recognize our direction that we're going in. It helps us to see who we are. It helps us to love ourselves. It helps us to really single out those negative thoughts, to treat them with love and compassion, to treat it with grace, and to really understand ourselves on a very deep level. So now is the time that we should really focus. It is spring. Everything is popping. Everything is going to start to bloom. Let's look at nature, for instance. There is a time when all the leaves fall off the tree. There's a time period for rest, you know, and then there is a time period to bloom. So you declutter yourself, you give yourself the time to rest. In that time of rest, that is when you go within and you bring up all these things that need to heal, your past trauma that you're going through. You bring up all these things to the surface. While you're resting, you bring up those things to the surface. So the next phase you're going to go into is to bloom, is to blossom. So this is the time that we could really go within, bring up those things, address it, so we could able to spring out. And when you spring out, a lot of beautiful things happen when you spring out. So if you need to pause today, just pause. Pause so you could spring. Pause so you could bloom. Pause so you could blossom. So look for that time, pause yourself, so things could happen in your life. Today, we got such a beautiful guest here this morning, and she's here to help us to understand the healing journey and the connection with self. Simona is here to really give us the tools, give us the keys that we could blossom and bloom. I'm Karen Pascal, holistic health and wellness coach and a co-author of two ebooks with my sister Joan Williams. And we also have a digital magazine and a hard copy magazine. And welcome to the show, everyone, this morning, wherever you're tuning in from. Just let us know where you're tuning in from. And you're free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Soul, Light, and Body, so you will never miss none of these juicy episodes. Grab a pen, grab a notepad, grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, sit back, relax, this 1 hour with us. Joan, hand the mic to you.
Thank you so much. It's just amazing. It's just amazing to be here again for another day. All of us who are listening, within the listening ears of us. And I know you mentioned great opening as well, always. And I know you mentioned about pause. And talking about pause, there is power in pause because it's giving yourself some time for you. It's giving yourself some time for you and who you are as an individual. And it's a lot of beauty in taking that pause where you can step back a little bit, look at your life, look where you are, who you are becoming, what you want to be. Are you living your purpose? Are you really feeling fulfilled? How are you doing? How are you guys doing today? Where are you in life? We're in the third month of 2023. Are you able to zoom in on all the goals that you have set, that tone for that you would like to see yourself be at the conclusion of 2023? How are you working on that? Do you have that confidence? Do you have that courage for everything that you've written down and set in your journals or wherever you're harboring that and harnessing that goal, whether in your mind or outside? Are you able to work on that? Are you well supported? Who do you have around you, your circle, that can help you to attain what you're inspired for? Today, I want to talk to caregivers. I want to specifically talk to caregivers because I know it's a challenging job and it takes a lot out of us because we are caregivers and we know what it's like when you have a challenging client. So, I want to say today is that within the 24-hour day, whether you're a professional caregiver or you are just a family caregiver, remember you. Remember you. Just take some time for yourself, if it's an hour or whatever. Just pull back, take some time to yourself, refuel yourself, get yourself all filled up because you're serving and you're doing a beautiful job. It's amazing what you do when you're helping others, whether it's your loved one or, as I said, as a professional caregiver. It takes a lot out of you. Remind yourself that you're special. Remind yourself that you're doing an amazing job. Remind yourself that you're serving another human being, which is special. Remind yourself that you're focusing on an assignment, that where you are is where you're supposed to be. So thank you for what you are doing, because I know it's not easy. Love yourself. Don't forget to love on yourself. Show yourself compassion and that grace. And then bask in that. Bask in that because that is what helps you to do what you do as an individual. And just love on you. And remind yourself that you are beautiful and that you are special and you are unique and you are one of a kind. Because yes, you are. Yes, you are. So thank you for everything that you're doing. And to all of you who are watching and listening to us today, remember you're special. And we thank you for tuning into us and listening to us and helping us carry this show and moving us forward. So thank you. And don't forget to set your intentions. Set your intentions and then move with confidence. move with confidence because you know this is what your heart desire, what your desires are, and then position yourself in a receiving mode where the universe, whatever you call it or whatever, position yourself in that receiving mode that you can receive that and let the universe work for you because it's always there supporting all of us. So thank you. My name is Joan Williams, holistic health and wellness coach. Also, as Karen mentioned, the two ebooks I've written. And thank you for all the feedback with the magazines, both digital and print. We thank you for that. We'll continue to serve you in that way and bring great insight, great topics that you can use within your life to help you to advance yourself forward. So thank you. We love you. Thank you for being here. And today we have such a special and amazing guest. I know we say it become repetitive that all of our guests are amazing because yes, they are. And her name is Simone, and we're talking about healing journey and connection to self. How powerful that is. And she's here to share with us how we can really accomplish that for ourselves and live our true essential self. So, Simona, welcome.
Thank you so much. Wow, those were some beautiful introductions and insights. And, I was just being present with that all the time. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. I loved what you said about the pausing and the blossoming, Karen and Joan, about loving on yourself. There's just so many wonderful things in there. And I think that, well, for me, my journey started about 8 years ago, and it was actually a desire to love on myself. I had no idea what it was. I just knew that I wanted a change, and I was not happy, and my habits were very destructive. I was drinking a lot. I was working in the hospitality industry, so it was just a really bad cycle I was in. And I had this feeling still inside of me where it was like, there is something else. I know there is something else. I just need to break out. So for me, I had to kind of break out a little drastically. So I decided to quit my job. I applied for a work and travel visa in Canada. And that's how the journey began. I just knew I needed a change of environment. And I don't think you always have to change the environment that drastically, but for me, I knew that was what I needed to do to get away from everything, to really get to know myself. Um, and I still remember the first time that I told myself I love myself. It was so strange. It was so strange to me, even though I had no trouble telling people that I love them. It was just, when I said it to myself, it was unfamiliar, it was uncomfortable. And, I kind of laughed a little about it. I was just like, what am I doing? This is so silly. You know, I felt so weird because I said it out loud over and over. Um, but that's where it all began. Basically, I was determined. And I think that that is one of the main, main things, right? When you want to change in your life, when you want to feel better inside, it is a decision to actually go down the path. I'm not going to say that it's always easy because many times it's not. But no matter what's happened the past 8 years, I wouldn't go back. And I've had many losses, many transformations, but also many beautiful experiences.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And like when you started, and thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes to be here today because we know that
Mm,
you've got so much value to share with us. And like what you said, it you suddenly for a moment or for a period of time, you look at your life and you realize that something click inside of you and say, You recognize that's not my purpose. I no longer want to do what I'm doing right now. And you have read, and we applaud you for making that decision, that bold decision that I'm going to
Yeah,
move in a different direction. This
yeah,
is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to live my life. And you go within yourself and you are able to pull that out and make that transformation. That's why you're sitting here so beautiful and so gorgeous with us today, because what the life you're living now, you're shining with that glow and you're walking in confidence and you're making changes and you're changing our lives as well. I know that you today, when you share your story, as you continue to share your story with us, you're going to move people and you're going to help others to say, hey, I can do that too because she's done it. Yes, it's not going to be easy, as you rightly said, it's not going to be easy, but that's part of the makeup of living your true essential self, because you go through those phases which make you stronger, better, smarter, more magnificent, more amazing. So thank you.
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here and to share. Mm.
Mhm. So now that you go into what has sustained you, what has kept you, even though you've been going through, as you make the change and you was very definitive about it. What has kept you, even though there were hard times, there were times that, it didn't go the way that you wanted it to be? What has sustained you? What has kept you? What has become your rock? What was it?
Mm. That's a very good question. My vision and what I feel in my heart. And I feel very, very strongly about using my story to make a difference. And I look at my life and I think about who I've been and how many changes I've made. And I'm still making changes, I'm still making shifts. And I just see how possible it is to change. And my mission is to bring more love to the world, to help others see that they are also beautiful, because I have struggled with this throughout my entire life, insecurities, worthiness, feeling unworthy, having to fake confidence, and just saying yes to things even though I've been shaking inside. And that really, really drives me. I really feel that strongly in my heart. And I'm so grateful because today I can say it out loud. And for many years, I felt silly about it. I felt like, what do you mean? You just want to spread love. You kind of, you want to bring love to the world. And because I didn't believe that I could do it, I was thinking, who am I to do this? Who am I to, can I even make an impact? And when it gets really tough, I I keep that in front of me and I tell myself, and sometimes I call on help, and I'm like, oh, this is a very difficult time. But I close my eyes and I keep the vision and I feel in my heart and I'm thinking to myself, this is the right thing to do. And I feel it in my soul. And I feel that when I'm silent again, or if I lose track, I'm kind of pulled back. That little voice inside kind of tells me, hey, you know, go back. It's time. Don't get too lost. Don't stay there too long. And then it's faith. It's I found that very late in life. I wasn't brought up spiritually at all. Um, but sometimes that is my biggest ally. Sometimes that's been all I've had. The vision and the faith that there's good things to come and this is the right path. And even now, as I'm speaking to both of you today, there's still a part of me that is a little bit nervous. And there's another part of me that's also like, hey, this is part of your vision, so it feels good, but I still have those butterflies a little bit. And that's okay. And I like to talk about that. I like to talk about the emotions, the reality of things. And for me, I always thought that I had to be happy all the time, show the face, no anger, no emotions, no, everything good, good, good. And before that, it was only anger. So there was always an imbalance. And now I'm kind of flowing where I feel like it's important to feel all those emotions. It's okay, um, because there is a lot to learn in there. There are a lot of lessons in our emotions. And I think that oftentimes they're looked down on. I know that I am a very sensitive person, and I know that that's been looked down on a lot in my life from other people, from myself. Um, but now I see it more as something beautiful because if you can really feel sadness very strongly, then you can also feel joy very strongly.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
You're so right. Just listening to you, Simona, we really understand from what you're saying about strength. You talk about strength, you talk about faith, because many times that is what we really need in our lives. And you're able to look at a situation, you're looking at this situation and you're looking to see what strength you could gain from this situation, and the faith that you need when a situation arises in your life. You're trying to understand, what is this situation really trying to teach me? What can I learn from this situation? And that is what we really need to examine within our lives, that whatever is happening at the moment with us, we really need to look and see what we could gain from that situation, what strengths we could pull out from this situation that is happening in our life at the moment. Because many times we go up against the situation, and when we go up against the situation, our judgment get clouded, and we're not able to see the beauty in what is happening at the moment. We run to the negative thoughts, and then it starts to spiral. So what Simone is trying to let us know is that whatever situation we be going through at this point in time in our life, we really need to take a closer look for what this situation is trying to teach us. And this situation in our lives, or the experience in our life, it's there to teach us something. It didn't just happen just by accident. It's there to teach us something. Maybe the situation is trying to let us know there is some part in us that still need to be healed. Because many times we tell ourselves, oh, we are healed, but we are truly not healed. So you find, because we're truly not healed, you find that triggers will happen. And when these triggers happen, it's to help us to know that, you know what, there is still a part of us that we really need to go deep within and examine. So, Simona, thank you so much for explaining that part to help the audience to know. And I just want to point out one person in the audience, Brianna Burgess. She just had a surgery, you know, and I want to really honor her for her strength,
Mm.
because her situation, whenever you ask her how she's doing, she's always saying, I'm doing fine, I'm doing great. And she just had a surgery, you
Mm.
know, and that is the right type of attitude that we all need to take. Use Brianna Burgess as an example, that we may just have a surgery, but we could all say, I am doing fine, I am doing great, I'm getting better every day. That is what she normally say every single day when I ask her how she's doing. That is what she would say. And
Mm.
that is strength. That is strength. She's using her situation, but she's not seeing it as a situation whereby she can't find the strength every day. She's finding strength within that situation. And Brianna, we honor you this morning.
Yeah.
Honor
We
you
are.
for that strength.
We honor for you for who you are.
Yes, we honor you for that strength.
Yeah. And
Because, go ahead, Joan. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna step and to talk about yeah, we congratulate you for who you are. And I was
Mm,
Simone is thank you for talking about your spirituality. Thank you for letting us know that that's part of who you are and that you draw from that space and your faith because the same way Karen and I, we lean into our faith. That's really sustains us when everything else is happening, whatever it is may be. But we hold on to that faith and that faith, and that's part that anchors us. So and then the greatest thing that we all can do is get to worthy.
mm,
Get to worthy. Because if we can get to that space of worthiness,
mm.
it's truly amazing. So I just want to highlight and point that out. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Simona,
Absolutely.
yeah,
I just
when,
want to take a moment to say hi to Brian. Was it Brianna?
Brianna,
yeah,
yeah.
Brianna, Brianna,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. I just want to give you my love as well. And just what you ladies said. I don't know you personally. Hopefully, I will soon. But just, I think that's amazing. And that is definitely a sign of strength. So much love to you. And, best of fortune on your recovery journey. Great to have you here. Mm,
Yeah. Thank you, Simona. Thank you for those kind words. Thank you.
Yeah.
mm,
When this leads me to my next question.
mm,
When an individual is in physical pain or emotional pain, what are some of the things they can do?
mm. That's a very good question. Um, for me, what I've noticed on my journey is that a lot of pain that I've experienced in my body have been related to stress. So I didn't always connect the dots, but eventually I started realizing that I was stressed. And sometimes I think we don't realize that we're stressed. And I'm not talking about physical stress, I'm talking about emotional stress, mental stress. And I would notice that when I get overwhelmed, you know, my back would hurt even more. It would intensify a lot until somebody asked me, like, when do you have the most pain? And I thought about it and I said, I think it's when I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and when I'm feeling a little stressed. And I went back to it and I could see a pattern, right? So the days that I would feel the most worry or, like the most mental activity, um, that's where I would hurt the most. So my advice would be to first look at that. Is there a lot of stress? Do you need a break? Um, do you just need a day or do you maybe need 2 days? I mean, I know everyone's situation is different, so not everyone can maybe take 2 days off,
Right.
but just, can you at least take a moment, a few hours, give, because that is self-love too, is that what you need right now? Because your body is telling you something.
Yeah.
And I know my body has been screaming at me from many different directions, many times. And just, hey, pay attention to me. So for me, I always go back to quiet, to stillness, to relax a little and think, is there really a need for me to do all those things right now? I mean, I know I need to pay my bills, I know I need to eat, like, but can I decrease the amount of things I'm doing? Can I just be outside in nature? Can I journal? Can I just close my eyes and just hug myself and just be, and give myself that care that I'm longing for? And oftentimes that has helped actually, or just being with someone and laugh, get out of that state and switch gears. So go into a moment of joy. And then of course, if the pain has persisted, I've gotten outside help as well. Maybe I need to go for a massage, maybe I need to balance my energies. Maybe I need to go to a physio just to see is everything okay. So I do like to combine, I think sometimes that's good to do depending on the pain. But
Exactly.
yeah, that would be my advice.
That's beautifully described.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
Mm,
it is beautiful described, and you kind of give us a little bit of nuggets there. I hope the audience are taking notes that you're
mm,
saying, if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you're feeling stressed, you could just step outside in nature. Just go for a walk, or you rightfully said, go and get a nice massage.
mm,
You know, just get up and start to move. And another thing you could do if you're home and you can't get to go outside, put on your favorite music. Put on your favorite music. Just start a dance. Just be happy.
Dance. Have
You
a good
know,
mm,
time.
just have a good time.
Yeah.
Because you're
mm,
celebrating you.
You.
You're celebrating you. It doesn't matter who else is around. You're celebrating you, and you know what makes you happy.
Hmm.
And when you could do that for you, you're pausing whatever it is that is making you stressed, and you're getting into you. You're looking after the structure, you know. So sometimes we really need to do things like that. If you have a tub home, just fill the tub up with some nice warm water. Put some nice essential oils inside. Light two nice scented candles. Put it around the tub. Immerse yourself in that tub. Just enjoy that moment. Put on
Yeah.
some
mm,
nice, relaxing music. Just enjoy that moment. Celebrate you.
Where also, where cook yourself a great meal that you love and
mm,
indulge in and salivate in and have fun. And just by cooking that meal that it's one of your favorites, something that you love, also is just filling yourself up and giving yourself what you need at that specific time. Put on a great outfit, something you like, look sexy, beautiful, your favorite cologne. You know,
mm.
that means you're giving you what you need to be fed with physically,
Absolutely.
mentally, emotionally, and all that spiritually too. So that's a good step.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree with you, John. How
Mm.
can, how can an
I love
individual
that.
move? How can an individual move past unpleasant thoughts or experiences?
Can you repeat that?
How can how can an individual move past unpleasant experiences or thoughts? How can they pick
Got
themselves,
it.
examine those thoughts
Mm,
and those experiences, and to move forward with their life?
yeah, that's a good question. Um, I love writing, so I think that I mean I do writing for a living, but I don't think necessarily that you need to do writing for a living in order to write. Um, for me, it's been a very, very helpful tool when I want to understand my unpleasant emotions or challenges situations. And I always say that I discover so much in my writing because when all the thoughts are up here, you think that you know everything that you're thinking, but you're not really aware of all the thoughts and how much actually is going on inside your head. So whenever I write and I ask myself, I might start with a question that says, why am I feeling this way? Or, what am I supposed to do about this situation here? And I just wait until it comes. And sometimes it takes a moment and I just sit down and then the writing starts, and it's amazing how much you can discover, but not only discover through the writing, but also the relief of getting it all out, because you can just say everything. Nobody's listening, nobody's reading this. This is you and your thoughts, and you can gain insights. You get that release. You can sigh and just, so that has been a really great tool for me. And also dancing, as you mentioned before, Karen, I love that. It's one of my favorite tools. I go into dancing at home a lot. So, especially when if I feel angry, and that happens, and that's okay. And that's when I just put in a good music that just fits the mode, and I go in it with passion and
Mhm.
intensity, and I just forget everything. And that is a release as well. That is healing as well, because there are so many ways we can get that relief, and we can heal, and we can understand more what's going on, and we can shift from the darker into the lighter a little bit. We can shift those emotions, and we can still feel them, and we can come out on the other side and just breathe.
Right.
So those are definitely some of my favorites. I think it's important. What I've learned lately is to really be more in touch with the body. And I think that is a powerful, powerful thing. Mm,
It is.
yeah,
Your
yeah,
mind and your soul,
mm,
all the essential areas for us living, living
yeah,
this life. And sometimes doing a good deed for someone else
mm, yes,
is really beautiful too,
you're right.
because that fills us up. Because doing a good deed for someone, it's reciprocated because you're doing for them. And then seeing them happy, seeing the joy, seeing them blossom right in front of you, whatever it may be, that alone is filling yourself up because you feel excited, you feel happy that you can have the opportunity to help that human being with joy
That
and happiness.
is that is so well said, Joan. I love that. And not long ago, I actually wrote an article about the scientific benefits of kindness, which is super interesting. And I was just so amazed by what it actually does to us, when we are kind and doing something for someone else. So I love that you mentioned that.
Thank you.
Yes. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Healing is like peeling back these layers, you know. How important it is for us to peel back these layers.
Hmm. I think it's very important. I think that it's also a little exciting, or kind
It
of
is.
very exciting, actually, to be honest,
It is. Mhm.
because what I find so interesting is that we're never just one way, right? And the more we peel, the more we discover, and we're not supposed to be just one way. I mean, everyone like has their unique personality, but there's so many layers to us. I mean, I can be serious and I can be playful. I like to read, but I also just like to be a kid. I mean, there's so much beauty in discovering, and I think that the most amazing thing when we do heal and start peeling away the layers is that we discover more of our personality, more of our soul, more of our heart, and we can be more of ourselves in the world. And that is so freeing.
It is.
So freeing. Yeah, being able to be who we are and not apologize for it and see that, oh my God, like this little thing is beautiful about me. And I discovered that I like this thing and I am also this way. And then, suddenly the world becomes more fun. And when you walk as yourself, that's when you can really um, enjoy life, you know?
It is
Mm.
because you're walking in greatness, you're walking in integrity, you're walking with your power that you have newly found. And as
Mm.
layers, you're evolving, you're changing
Yeah. Hmm.
because you're able to reach that inner core, that inner being. You're going deeper in, and there's new discovery when that happens because you say, wow, You got to say that to yourself. Wow. And then it's reflecting on the outside because people are looking at you and they say, what is it different about you? In a nice way, because they're seeing another side of you, another authentic side of you. There's another beauty that is so amazing that is reflecting and it's shining through you as a person. And when you can get to those spaces and get to those levels and go deep within and go to the core and really emerge that side of you, it's beautiful.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with everything you said, and I think it's amazing because I want to say this. So for every one of you listening, I want to say this that I didn't have much of a voice, most of my life, and with time, I found that voice. And it's such an amazing thing when you start using your voice authentically, just as you mentioned, you walk in integrity. I just think, the whole journey, these 8 years, ups and downs, have been so worth it just to get to the part where I can speak my truth and I can use my voice and I am more confident in who I am. And thinking about 10 years ago, there is such a huge jump and it is beautiful. I think that probably a year I would not say yes to this event with you because I still wasn't there. I was still scared and I would just be no, 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 I can't do this. And I would think, oh, what if my family sees this or they don't even know that, how I feel about spirituality. But then you get to a point where it's like, but this is who I am. It can't be wrong because this is who I am. If I'm not hurting anyone, then it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right with those words that you just said, Simona. Is that many times we're hiding behind a wall because we are thinking what others would feel if we say something, you know. But that is actually holding back ourselves. We're not being true and authentic with ourselves. So we have to find a way whereby we could able to be our true self and speak the truth how we are feeling.
Hmm.
Because if we keep holding back ourselves, that part of us cannot express. That part of us is there and it will become dormant. So we need to find a way whereby we could articulate among family or friends and let them know this is it, this is who I am, and you may not like what I'm about to say, or you may not like who I have become, but this is just me, and that is bringing into relationships. So sometimes you find relationships were kind of separate because when you become your true authentic self, a lot of people would not understand who you are
Hmm.
because you have raised your level to a higher frequency, and that person cannot understand who is Simona now, and because of that, a lot of friendships kind of like break away, they fall apart. Sometimes they come back when they meet at our level. You could come back together because they now understand what you was working on yourself and who is Simona really, and it's
Hmm.
quite okay, And when you talk before about a healing, that brings us back to the topic, the healing journey and the connection with self. Because when you start to heal, you start to connect more with yourself. You understand yourself more. You understand your purpose more. When you start to do that deep healing, you're peeling back those layers. You're connecting more with yourself because you're going within. So you're able to make that connection with the mind, the body, and the consciousness because that is all connected to each other. But that could only happen when you start to do the inward healing. It helps you to connect all these parts of yourself. So thank you for really explaining that part with the healing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for explaining that to us.
thank you. And also, just to add another layer in that for you, Simona, is your belief system has changed.
Hmm.
Your confidence,
Absolutely.
your courage has emerged. And when you have that belief system, because now you believe more in yourself, because you know you're walking in the authority of what you believe in, you're walking in the authority of your experience, you're working in your an authority. When you peel back those layers and move through the space of healing, now you have that courage. So you can walk in that integrity, you can walk in greatness, and you can stand strong as a woman and say, "This is who I am."
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just want to add also that when you can lean on yourself, when you have that connection to yourself, because for many of us, there will come a time, I know that's been the case for me, when I've been on my own by myself on this journey, and I've also been in moments where I didn't like who I was and I wanted to escape, like physically escape my body. And that is a very painful place to be. But when you instead learn to trust yourself more, connect to yourself more, if there ever comes a time, I mean, hopefully you have family and friends, but if there ever comes a time that you find yourself alone, then you can come back to yourself as if you were your friend and say, you know what, we got this. Like, we got this. And we will be okay. I trust you. I love you. And we're in this together. And that's very important, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah,
you got to say that again, Simon, because I think many people that are listening to you right now just need to hear that, just need to hear that reassurance, and just repeat that and let them know that they got it.
Hmm, exactly.
yeah. You
Don't
know,
worry about it, because sometimes, as we talk, as in the discussion, we talk about feeling very overwhelmed, feeling that everything seemed dark at the moment, and having to find that strength to really emerge out of that space, because sometimes you don't see the light,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
you don't see it. There's
absolutely.
no one around to make a phone call to someone to find that. And talk about the importance of having a great circle around you. Can
Mm,
you talk?
yes, absolutely. I think it's very important. I think that I have seen the difference in both, where I've had people around me and where I haven't. And it's much more difficult when you're only by yourself, especially over a period of time, right? Like, um, and I think that what I found on this journey, I mean, as Kara mentioned, obviously some people fall away, we go through different stages, but nurturing those relationships that are very important to you, that, with people that can accept you for who you are, I think that is a big one. Um, yeah, I think that I wouldn't do anything differently, probably because I've grown so much.
Hmm?
And yet I think about some things that sometimes I could have done to stay in certain relationships that I would like to have had.
Yeah,
And some of them instead is like, okay, I know this wasn't meant. I believe that everything happens for a reason, but I
tragedy.
also believe that we have a responsibility. And I think that if there is a possibility, if there is someone in your life that accepts you and loves you, nurture that relationship, because sometimes we can do more before, and then, we can get too focused on ourselves and on our path. That's happened to me in my life, to be honest.
Yes,
And then you find yourself, maybe you lose a person in that circle that you would want to have.
yes,
um, so it's definitely a big one. But I also want to say that, if you don't have that, keep your heart open,
Yes.
because it's really easy to close your heart. For example, lost my best friend last year, and after 25 years, we went separate ways. And it was very, very easy to close my heart after that. So I had to really work on opening my heart again. And I'm so glad I did that. And I do recommend that, because even if you don't have a circle right now, maybe there will come a day when that circle will come. That's what happened to me now with social media. I wasn't feeling completely out there, but I said, okay, I just have to open a little bit. I just have to see, okay, what's out there. Say yes to talk slowly. Because sometimes when we lose trust in our relationships and
Right.
in ourselves, it's we have to tread a little carefully, like, okay, it's okay. And
Yeah.
that's fine, it's on your own time, in your own pace. But if you don't have a circle, then a new circle will come. I've seen it, and I truly believe that.
We can
So,
attest. Yes.
yeah.
We
We
can
can
attest.
testify, to what you just said there, We need to be open. We need to be open. We need not to judge, because many times what we normally do is that because of a past relationship with someone, we tend to look for those things that sever that relationship and bring those things into another relationship, not realizing it's a totally different person that we're dealing with at that point in time. So we need to be careful with that, because the past relationship is gone, that energy is gone, but this is a different person you're dealing with now. So now you have to be open and to understand this individual who you're dealing with in front of you, not bringing that past energy that you were dealing with before into this present situation. So I
Mm.
really like what you said. We really need to be open with the person who we are dealing with at that point in time. It's very, very important for us to do
Yeah.
that.
I also like what you said with the openness, yes. And just to add another layer in that, trust yourself, move gradually, take your time, because you're moving into a new level, you're moving into a new space. So to avoid being overwhelmed and feeling pressure, then you move at your pace, you move at your rhythm. And as you move with that, you'll be okay. Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you
Absolutely.
for
You
sharing.
both have very beautiful points. Yes, yes. And I love what you said, Karen, about when you mentioned that this person is a new person. I think that's so important to remember as well. This is not the same person from the past. And it's
Now,
so easy that we take that with us, whether that's in friendships or in dating lives. And
Yeah.
because sometimes that leaves a little trace, and some of those experiences might be traumatic, that we actually need to heal as well.
yes,
So, it's important
Absolutely.
to look at that as well. Trauma isn't always this huge thing. Sometimes there are minor things, but we still need to heal. We need to give ourselves that time so that we can be a little more open for the
yes,
next new person.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Because if we don't remove that bitterness and get back to our sweet self of who we are and living our true essential self, then we hindering ourselves from evolving.
Mm.
We're hindering ourselves to evolve. So we gotta let the better treat it with kindness, because whatever is it that was severed, whatever is it that it meant something when it was at that point in time. But we have to move to understanding, because that is what growth and expansion is understanding that meant what it was at that point in time. But then the season changes. We're in spring now. Season change, and we understand that. So in order for us to evolve and to move forward, let's treat that what we had behind with kindness and love, and so give us ourselves that grace and that sweetness and the beauty who we are to move forward and then put ourselves in our receiving mode where we have that openness that we now be ready to receive the next beautiful thing to come to us.
I love that. That was beautiful. Yes,
Absolutely.
Thank
absolutely. Nothing to add to that.
Yeah, absolutely right, Joan. You're absolutely you give a lot of nuggets there to help us to really understand, you know, ourselves and how we should really move through. Because we are here and we will have different relationships with people. We cannot run away from that. We will have different relationships with people. But when we are presenting ourselves in relationships, how are we presenting ourselves in relationships? And many times, a lot of times, you see things come up in front of us, as Simona rightfully said. It's things that we need to heal, it's things that we really need to work on within ourselves. And sometimes you find too that if, let's say, you're coming out from a relationship with someone, we really need not to like a relationship, intimate relationship, intimacy relationship. If you're just coming out from one, right? We really need to, before we jump in back to something else, we really need to sit with ourselves and examine ourselves and see the areas in our lives that really need to work on before we go into another relationship. Because many times we jump over, not examining, and run into another relationship, not examining ourselves to see exactly what caused the breakup in the last relationship, and we run ahead because maybe the feelings, we feel lonely, we're looking for someone to comfort us, and we end up running into another relationship thinking that that is going to solve the problem. And many times we end up getting ourselves in a bigger problem because we're not taking the time to work on ourselves. We're not taking the time to heal ourselves. We're not taking the time to see within ourselves what needs to be addressed. And we are running away from it. So once you're running away, you're going to run to it. And you're going to end up going back in the same cycle. So when you're leaving one relationship, sit, look at yourself, examine the pointers, see what you could benefit from the last relationship, what the last relationship has taught you, and to help you now to better yourself and open that space for another person who is going to come into your life. That is what
Mm,
we really need to sit and do with our lives.
That's so
absolutely.
so true. That is so beautiful too.
Mm.
And go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that was great. That was so
Yeah,
powerful.
that
It's
was.
just like
And
yes.
yeah, yes, totally yes. And also, you gotta set some boundaries.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes
I've had some experience with that, or lack of the rather.
we have to set them, and we have to let people know how we need to be treated,
Mm,
Yes.
absolutely.
how we need to be loved. But setting
Mm,
those boundaries as we evolve in life and move forward in life, because remember we are evolving,
Yeah.
constantly evolving, and setting that new intention, but setting that boundary because we can't allow sometimes the past the way we were allow people to treat us because we
Yeah.
are evolving now, we're in a different space to treat us the same way
mm,
because we have to let people know how we need to be treated
Yes,
and
absolutely.
love.
Absolutely.
And when sometimes that we there's a reason why we want to say no because it's something we cannot do at this point in time, it's okay.
yep.
That's part of setting that boundary.
Yeah. Yeah. And let your no mean no and let your yes mean yes.
Mm,
That's very
yes.
important. Very, very important.
Mm.
Simona, if you can change one thing
Whew.
about the world, what would it be?
One thing about the world.
What would it be?
Oh my God. Go on, just one. Okay. If I could change one thing about the world, I would change I would make a wish, like magic, that every single person on this earth would feel true joy in themselves.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love
And
it. Just love
yeah.
it.
That's very impactful.
Because a lot of us, we are looking for that joy. We are looking for that joy, and if we can only know that we are that joy,
Mm.
if we can only understand that we are love, we are that joy, we are the light. If we could only understand that, Simona, I really like when you said joy.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
Thank you for
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank
And
you.
at this point, we just want to thank all the beautiful women around the world.
Mm.
We want to honor you this morning.
Mhm.
We want to honor you for your resilience. We want to honor you for showing up when you feel like there is no hope. Thank you for showing up in the world and making such a big impact and helping to change lives in the world. We just want to honor you this morning. We want to honor you for saying yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no. We want to honor you for setting the boundaries. We want to honor you for loving yourself, for loving life. We want to honor you for the light that you bring to the world. We would just want to honor you for whatever you decide to do to help to bring the message across to the world. We just want to honor you because you're going to bring the value the world needs. You're going to bring the message that the world needs. We want to honor you for your story.
Mm.
Thank you for telling your story to help someone else to see their light within their lives. We want to honor you from coming out from that dark place and being a
Mm.
light. We want to honor you for evolving, for allowing yourself to be vulnerable and to evolve into a space where you could help others to see who you are and the message that you bring to help someone else who may be not feeling up to themselves. We want to honor you for doing that. We want to honor you for
Mm.
being a caregiver.
Mhm.
We just want to honor you for taking the time, the patience, because being a caregiver is a lot of patience. It's a lot of time, but don't ever forget yourself.
Mm.
Don't ever give up on yourself. Find that time that you could check in with yourself to see how you're feeling. We want to honor you for taking care of your family, whoever, if it's your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your aunt. Thank you for doing that because we are mothers in different ways. We are caregivers in different ways. You may have a friend, the friend reaching out to you. You're helping that friend. We want to honor you for stepping in and giving that space to that friend, giving that ear for that friend, and you could listen to them without no judgment. We just want to honor you today. Joan?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's so amazing. That's so
Mm.
profound. And when you start off and talking about honoring women, uh, there's a lot of beauty in that because when we look and give that admiration to women across the globe in whichever facet or department or wherever you're working, and standing up as a strong woman, being tenacious, coming with that integrity, walking your greatness. And when we as all of us as our, women as ourselves, and we look at you acting in a leadership role, and you stand up and you can say, yes, this is who I am. And you're giving us, other women, that kind of power that we can emulate that in whatever what space of life we're in. Because what you're doing is that you are giving us hope and aspiration. You're giving us hope that we can do it as well, whichever part of life that we are at and whatever we are doing. When you can stand as a strong woman and so bold and have that tenacity and letting us know that yes, other women, yes, and we're lifting each other up with that greatness and that integrity. Thank you. We see you. We hear you. Thank you because you're enabling all of us as women, whichever area we're working at, whether it's caregiving, whatever area we're working at, but as women, as an individual, as a human being, you fuel and infusing us that strength. And we can have that strength and have that hope and have that aspiration and say, yes, we can do it too. So thank all of you.
Yes.
Mm. Wow, that was so beautiful from both of you. I got chills. Did anybody else get chills? The good ones, the good ones, not the bad ones. you know, but like when you hear something that really grabs
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yourself who? Because you
Yes,
feel
yes.
it penetrates in you. It bring you in. It reach you in that inner space as a human. As and we honor
Yeah.
you as a woman, as an individual. The story you shared, where you were, and how you have really evolved so beautiful over the years. Because what you did and your story you shared, you embrace everything. You embrace the bad and the good because you know that you're striving every day to be that special, new, reformed, evolved, and living your essential self. You bring in that level of authenticity with you as a person. So we give all of you your flowers, and you, Simona,
Yeah.
we give you that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. I am so honored and so grateful. And yeah, I'm filled with a lot of love and a lot of gratitude right now. And to all of you who are watching this, there's nothing wrong with you. I want to say that, you
Right.
are beautiful. There's nothing wrong with you. And even if you do go into a healing journey, you know, it's not because there's something wrong. It's just so that you can bring out more of who you truly are and
Mhm.
use more of your voice and more of your heart and shine brighter. So just want to say that to every woman and man watching that you are incredible and just know that, and there's always a way, when it's dark, lightness will come.
Yes.
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 That's the way it is. And
Absolutely
you'll learn a lot in the darkness too.
true. True. That's absolutely
So
right.
yeah, so that's what I wanted
Yeah.
to end
Thank
with.
you, Simona. We just want to thank you so much this morning for taking the time because you're all the way in Spain,
Yes.
you know. And we just want to thank you so much for taking the time and to sit with us this morning and to share this inspirational discussion with us. That
Mm,
the audience could really understand that our journeys may be different, but the principle that we apply to our journey is very important.
yeah.
Is the principle that we apply to our journey is very, very important. And we just want to thank you so much for taking that time. We want to thank you for saying yes to our invitation and showing up here this morning that you could bring your light
Mm,
to help others to heal on their journey so they could go within and find themselves. Thank you
Thank
mm.
so much for doing that and connect to themselves. Thank you. And to all the
Thank
viewers, thank you so
you.
much.
I am
You're welcome. Thank you to all the
I am
viewers.
so glad we made this happen.
Yeah, it's amazing. And to all you viewers, share this video
Mm,
and connect with Simona. Connect with her.
Yes. And to all the viewers, we
please
just want to
do.
thank you so much for taking the time. We know you're tuning in from all over the world, from Australia, from Sweden, all over the world you're tuning in from. And we just want to thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us this hour. I hope that you take some notes that you could use to incorporate in your daily living, and you could able to peel back the layers and go within yourself and find that true treasure who you are. You are a treasure. Peel back those layers. Start to work on yourself and know that healing takes time. It's not a walk in the park. It takes time. We're all on this healing journey every day. Every day we're healing. Every day we are healing. So look yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself, I love you.
Mm.
Tell yourself, I love you. And as my sister normally say, write yourself a love letter. Write yourself a love letter.
Yeah.
So when you write yourself your love letter, you could use all these beautiful words to describe yourself, the way how you're feeling. Get it down on pen and paper and write those letters to yourself. Thank you so much for showing up. We do appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Soul, Light, and Body, that you will never miss none of these juicy episodes, right? So
Yeah.
just subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet for a magazine, go in the comments below. You'll see the subscription form. You could subscribe and you could get our magazine showing up that you could put on your nightstand. You could always check in with it. There's a lot of nice recipes. There's a lot of uplifting motivation articles inside. You could read it and you could help yourself on this journey. Connect with Simona. If you need to talk with her, connect with her. All her comments is in the all her handles is in the comments below. Connect with her, have a talk with her. She's a writer. Maybe she could write your book, tell her your story. She could help you to write your book. Connect with Simona. She's a nice being of light to connect with. Connect with her. And continue to do what you're doing to elevate yourself and to evolve yourself. Check in with yourself often. Pause if you need to pause and blossom and bloom. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful week. We're going to be back here on Friday with another great individual to help us along our journey. Thank you once again, Simona, and have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you.
Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Anna.
Bye.